Vicky here with you, and I was so encouraged with all the beautiful comments that I got on my haul video where I shared with you guys some of my spiritual journey and what I want to do this year and how it's going. And this is a very personal matter, and it's something that I share more on Patreon, but after reading all your beautiful comments, I figured, you know what, I will share a little bit more on YouTube, but as I said, most of the very personal stuff is more on Patreon, just because the audience is less, and I feel a little bit more safe than sharing with everybody in the world, even though obviously not everybody's gonna watch this video. But I thought maybe what I'm doing might be of interest to some of you, and yeah, so just figured I would share that. So this big pile that you see here is a pile of tarot and oracle cards that I've used in the month of January, and I was very impressed to read one of the commenters saying that she makes her own set of cards and that they work better, and she's also done them for other people. I'm not ready to do that. I have to say that I've been really so far the messages are pretty clear, they all align, which is interesting, because you know, you see that the message out of all the cards that could be pulled, they all kind of say the same vision, so I'll be sharing that with you guys. So yeah, so that's the thing. And I also plan this year to try to do, I plan to do my own affirmation card deck. So I've already started that project over on Patreon, so I'm starting to go into that. It's a very personal project. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I've got a feeling it's going to take me a while, but I do really want to have that out there and to get it printed. And it's not going to be like an oracle or a tarot. It's really going to be more affirmation cards, things to tell yourself, and messages that you need to hear, that sort of thing. So positive messages. And yeah, so that's my what I want to do. And so these are the decks that I've used this month, and there's two others that joined the pile. One just yesterday actually arrived, and the other one 2 weeks ago, and I'll tell you more about it. But so what I had decided to do is to choose certain decks out of my stash, and some new, some older, and to use them a full month in conjunction with one another, and to see what it would come up with. And I decided that I really want to go further into this journey and study this year, so I had purchased this book to do that. And what I discovered is I clearly don't have enough spaces. So for example, I started, this is a spread based on what Leanne from Creatively Free to Be Me pulled out. She does readings for people in her Patreon at a certain level, and this was my first time ever having somebody else do a reading for me. And so she did the reading 2 parts, one for business work purpose, and one for more the creative work part of my life. And it was funny because as she was pulling the cards, for my creative part, like the full deck kept wanting to fall out. So there was a lot of messages to be taking place on that side. So I put down the information. I documented what she'd said for the work part, but I didn't document yet the part for the artistic. I want to do that, but I haven't done it yet. And then what I did is I documented the decks that I would be using in the month of January, and through the month I have pulled, when I'm pulling out cards, I would write them on the day that I was pulling them, and then document what it means, and so on. So for example, this one here, these are all for the 10th of January. So this week I did a lot. So because I did a lot, I needed extra pages. So I cut down some of the happy planner from that I had gotten at the thrift store. This one. So I discovered that some of the pages were calendars and stuff, and some of them had not been used yet. Because it was from August to the end of July. But I needed the pages. So what I did is I started by cutting down all the pages that were the previous month. As you can see now, the month is empty. And so this month I haven't pulled the pages from it. But that's what I'm going to do basically with this, and just add them to this, because I clearly don't have enough to do it. This is an Ollie block little page tab, and I chose that one with the moons because I really like the moons and that sort of thing. And I've done like my pages that way. So for example, I've got this up to here, and this is the 17th of January. So this would go with this here, and then the rest of, I finished the 17th here because I don't want to waste paper. So I do write when I do the reading, and then I can refer to what day it was. So I haven't done it every day. Because I'm doing readings with a lot of cards at the same time, so pulling from the different decks, and it just kind of resonates a lot. So, and a lot of the times it's stuff that's for a long period of time, so it's not necessarily worth doing a reading every single day. This last one was actually done with a new deck. And so now we're the 30th, tomorrow is going to be the 31st, and then I need to decide what decks I want to use for the next month. Because like I said, I like the idea of learning how my deck work and getting to know them better. So the decks that I had used this month were this new one. This I got at Crystal Dreams. I got it because I was very I liked the card, the imagery, and so this deck is from Barbara Moore, Wizards Tarot, and it has a guidebook, and then all the beautiful cards, and just the cards themselves are like a real inspiration to me. Just looking at them, looking at the art itself is just really beautiful. And then it came with this book, which I thought was really good. The only part that I don't like with this is that it's a glue bound book, and as you can see, as I was doing the readings and stuff and opening it up, then it started to come apart. So that is going to be an issue for me. Like you can see, it came apart here, because you kind of have to open the page wide in order to be able to read it, and because I'm also documenting whatever I'm doing, so it's not really good. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I don't know if I'm going to find another way of binding this. I have no idea. I kind of like the fact that she was putting like all the different pages together. Like for example, you would have all the 8s together, so you've got the 8s, and then you've got the 8 of Wands, 8 of Cups, 8 of Sword, and then 8 of Pentacle. So they're all together. That's kind of interesting versus the typical readings. But as I said, I don't like the the way it's coming apart. I like the fact that it's big and it has nice pages, but that's not very convenient, and it's taking a lot of room also in my stash. I don't like getting rid of the boxes because I find that it protects them better. So I don't know how that's gonna go, but the readings were really good out of it, so I was quite happy. Then this one I didn't use a lot. I used it a few times, but not that much. It has some pretty imagery, but I don't know, it wasn't calling to me the same way as the others were, so I didn't really play with it all that much. So yeah, so that's like the imagery itself. And this one I got a long time ago, and it was a used deck, and it came with the book, and it's from Brian Froud, and it's a pretty book, very pretty book, very detailed. Lots and lots of details as to what each card means and everything, but I wasn't feeling it all that much. I've got to admit. Then the other deck that I used this month was this one. Is I Ching. It's based on ancient wisdom of China, and the cards are very strange. Like, they're much different than anything I've ever seen. So very pretty, very clean type of looking cards. Not a lot, I would say, that I could just feel by looking at the card. Compared to the other two, which I could feel a little bit more just by looking at the cards. This one, not so much. It has some pretty good things. I'm not very familiar with this type of deck, so I'm gonna have to work more on it, especially since there's like many lines. So you've got, for every card, you've got different lines, and they all have different meanings. So I'm not quite sure, like, I need to research it more. It's not as clear to me, but the messages were also aligned very much with what's going on and where I want to go. Then I got this here, which is the Untethered Soul. This here is it's a deck that was made after a book. I got this deck used, and I liked it so much that I got it for two of my very dear friends, and I got the journal for one of them, and I've started reading. I got the book for one of them to go with the deck side, the card deck, and I've started reading the book. It's very good, and it's a book that's recommended by a lot of people for spiritual journey. So you probably already know this author, if Michael A. Singer, if you're into this type of thing. It's a very positive type of deck, and I really like it. I love the horses. So it's all the cards, like there's messages like freeing yourself, and then there's a message that you can read. And so you've got awakening consciousness, living life, so all kinds of different experiencing energy. So a lot of it going beyond. And the messages really are also fitting. I started, as I said, to read the book. This is not a tarot or oracle type of deck per se. But it does, I found that the messages that were written fit with what I was asking, the question I was asking. And I've got a journal as well that I want to, that accompanies the book. So I want to read that, but there's so much going on that I haven't really gone far with the book at all. So it's something I'm gonna be working on and continue. So this deck is gonna follow me through the next month. Then I got a beautiful deck from a wonderful friend who totally knows that I adore Nightmare Before Christmas. So she got me the tarot deck in a small size as well as a big size, and I just adore it. And I find myself more drawn to the bigger size than the smaller size, so I've used that one, but I didn't use it all that much. Therefore, I really want to use it some more in the upcoming month. So like, for example, this was one of the last cards that I got, and I just love the drawings for them. It's just so pretty. And as I said, I totally adore that movie. So it's definitely a deck that I like. So this one I will also be using in the next month, and I'm hoping to use it more so I get to know it better. But this is a typical tarot deck type of thing, but with a different type of imagery. So and I had not been using tarot so much. I was mostly doing oracle cards before, so it's kind of fun to go into something different like the tarot. So those two are going to the next month pile. Then there was this little deck. It's a little deck of divination cards, so kind of like oracle cards but a little bit different. Has a beautiful little book with the imagery and all kinds of different you can do different readings, and they have a lot of ones. I like when they give information like this of how to draw the cards, because like I said, I'm pretty much a novice, and most of the time I'll just draw one card out of the deck, or this month I was doing 2 cards out of the wizard and then 1 card out of the other ones, unless some cards would just fall out, because that's happened as well. And when they do that, I figure that's because it's a message that I need to have. So the back of these cards are all the same. They're all like this, but then they have really pretty little imagery on the other side, so very whimsical, and I really liked it. And the messages are quite easy to understand, but if you're you know, you want to go deeper, you can also, as I said, read the book. And I always read the books when because as I said, I'm so new to this that I don't just read the card. I really go into deeper within the book. So this one was really fun to use, but I'm not going to be using it next month because I already have a lot of other ones. I've been buying quite a lot of used ones lately, and that's been really fun. I like to be able to alternate and have different feels of them, and they have such different imagery from one to the next. So this one, I pulled out one card. You saw me pull it out, well, on Instagram, show it. And it's Oracle card Chakra. It's from Lotus Living, and it's from Joanna McDonald. She made it in 2019. She's a Reiki healer, and I went to see her for seeing how my energy was flowing and stuff, and it was quite an interesting experience. I'm gonna see her again at the end of February. She's really got wonderful energy, and it was a very very nice experience overall. And so I purchased her deck, and it's all kinds of different things that you need that fit with your different chakras. So I'm working on the chakras as well. I'm learning on that. There's just like I'm totally blown away with all the stuff that I want to learn. It's kind of overwhelming a bit, and so I'm trying to not get too overwhelmed, but there are a lot of things, like I said, that I want to learn. So this one I'm gonna continue working with, just because I want to learn more about my chakras. Then this one is one that I purchased on Amazon. It's Seasons of the Witch Samayan Oracle, and I love the illustrations in this. It's a bit darker type of illustrations than some of the typical decks, but I really love it. And it has a beautiful little book, gilded in red like this, just stunning. So like this is one example of a card. So like I said, they're a bit darker type of illustrations, but I really like them. Like they call to me. So I don't like spiders, but this is a pretty good illustration of one and doesn't creep me out too much. So there's different illustrations and really, really wonderful looking. And so this is one I'm going to be using this month. It's brand new, just came into my life, so I want to learn more about it. Because some of the other ones that I share, even though I wasn't doing the study as I am doing it now, I was still using the cards. Not every month, not every day, not every week. Sometimes it'd be months before I would pull another one, but I had been using them. So it's nice to have some new ones. This one is a deck I also got. Like these three other ones are all decks that I got used. These two recently on eBay, and this one at Value Village. This was such a big disappointment initially, because I got this, which are beautiful cards, and I'll show them to you, but I realized fast enough that the book was not present because they had put this separately. And so the next day I went back and I looked into the book section, and I was lucky enough to find the book. So two purchases, but at least I got the complete set, because I really do need the book in that case, and I'll explain why. So this one is the Wild Offering Oracle. It's beautiful, beautiful cards, and all with a lot of different, it's from Tasha Silver, and it has a lot of beautiful imagery. Well, the imagery is the same on all the cards as the Ganesh type of illustration, but then on this side you have all of these beautiful borders and flowers, and then they have different information. So I really like looking at these. It inspires me for what I want to do for my own, and obviously, like, I'm not going to copy this one, but it gives me some ideas, you know. So just really beautiful. So there's just one card that's all banged up, but that's okay. It's it's a used deck, and that's gonna happen. And I don't mind having used deck. I clear their energy. I've got some incense, but I also have little pieces of wood, a special wood that you burn, and it clears off the energy. So that's what I've done with that, as well as with my crystals, to clean them up and make sure that they're with my vibration. This one is Tattoo Tarot, and I just had to get this one because I love tattoos, and it just seemed very interesting. So it has a little book, not very detailed, but still, basically tarot. From most of the time, the meaning of the cards is pretty much the same. Sometimes, as the Wizard Tarot, it goes into some sort of difference, but most of the time the cards are pretty much the same. So, but this one, the illustrations are just stunning, and they really remind me of tattoos. So I'm anxious to try using it. I think it's going to be really fun. No. So that's this one. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention for the Wild Offering Oracle, it's a 52 card deck. on giving it all to God. So you can see, like, this has nothing against God, nothing against religion in general. It's just a different tool to get deeper into your soul searching, I would say. So this last one I'm going to be using this month is the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. It's from, it's a collaboration from Alberto Vivoldo, Colette Baron-Reed, and Marcela Lobos. I want to learn more about shamans and shamanic beliefs and culture. And that's why I decided to work with this one. The imagery is really stunning, really beautiful, and so I'm anxious to learn more. I did a few readings in the past with this deck and wasn't quite getting it, but now I'm anxious to see if it's going to be the same experience this time or if it's going to turn out differently. And yeah, so that's that one. So basically my readings so far are all about change. They're all about new things happening in my life, and I believe a lot of that is due to the fact that I really want to grow as an artist. I want to grow my Etsy store, my YouTube, my Patreons. This is something that I feel is really important to me. I think I have a lot to share with different thoughts, different messages, different ways that art can actually heal your soul. When you're going through hard times, it can make such a big difference to be able to journal, to be able to put paint on paper, and to just have fun. So this is something that I is really dear to me. So, and I believe like that's what it's calling. And so I'm working hard on that type of journey. So like, for example, I'm trying to learn how to draw digitally. And that's something I would really like to be able to do, because I do drawings, but it takes me forever and a day to be able to edit them and then, you know, scan them, then clean them, and then all this stuff. So if I was able to draw digitally, that already would solve a lot of my issues. The other thing, I finally finished a class that had been pending since last year. So if you haven't checked it out, go and check in my Etsy store. I've grouped all the classes together, so the listing has multiple classes associated with it. So just choose the one that is interesting. But I really hope you go and check out that little ATC altered playing card book. I really love how it turned out, so I was really pleased with that. And so I would like to do other type of thing like that. I would love to be able to offer some merchandise with my own designs. And yeah, so lots of projects, lots of good stuff, and lots of learning about myself, learning about how I'm feeling, and getting closer to that, and just understanding my body and my mind better. And it's making a huge difference with just all my outlook on life. And so I'm very, very happy with that. And yeah, so let me know what you think of this video. Is this something that you like, or this is definitely not your type? But I will be putting in the description what it is. So if it's not your type, it's okay. You know, if I help one person, if one person is touched by what I'm saying or inspired to try something new of any type of kind, that's enough for me. That's what I want to pass out there, and to just have fun learning. There's so much. So yeah, that's it. Love you guys, and see you soon. Bye.